All right, let me just check that. This thing here is streaming. Let's see. Okay, I think we're good. All right, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. Um, let's see. So today we're gonna continue basically going over some of the same things that we were going over last time, last Wednesday, which is stamina, right? Static malware analysis. Static malware analysis using deep learning and using .NET, right? So this was part of our stream projects. If I could find the stream projects. Um, let's see here. Okay, so our stream projects, and that's under our stamina folder here, right? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to implement this paper, right, that was published by Microsoft and Intel. And basically what they did was they took binary information from files, and that binary information, well, they converted the files to binaries, and then they converted the binary and encoded it into images. So that's exactly what we're trying to do. In previous streams, what we've been trying to do, or what we've been had somewhat of success doing, is getting the files into binary and then converting them into images. So now the next step, what we want to do is we want to try that on a larger data set. And the larger data set, we're going to try to use this Microsoft Malware Classification Challenge data set. And the data set itself, what it has is it contains files, right? It contains the raw data, the hexadecimal representation of the file's binary content, and they are classified into 9 different families of malware. Okay, so that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to classify malware. Um, we're going to try to classify malware based on these 9 categories. So um, this is a pretty big data set, right? There's 35 gigs worth of data here. So number one is figuring out how can I download this. But number two, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and essentially get these files and download them onto a VM. So that's kind of why I had Azure fired up back here in the background, because eventually what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go ahead and create a VM that's going to be able to handle, number one, be able to download all this, right? This is a lot for my machine at the moment. And then what we're going to do is we are going to we're going to go ahead and try to process that. So we're going to get something with a significant amount of RAM that we're able to process it. And what we're going to be using is we're going to be using ML.NET to do image classification, right? So we're going to use that to perform transfer learning and train an image classification model that's going to be able to essentially classify the files in here into one of these 9 categories. So with that said, let's first try to let's probably start off by setting up the VM here on Azure. So let's see. Well, even before that, let me look Azure Linux VM. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to use a Linux VM. And actually, let me try to do that somewhere else here. VM. Essentially, what I want to find out is which one fits my needs. Let's take a look at the sizes here. So what we're going to be looking for is we want something that has CPU to memory. I'm not quite going to go with GPU optimized just yet. So while we could use the API to enable the GPU and use the GPU for training, I'm not going to just yet. But this is definitely something that we might want to consider, and I think that Model Builder actually uses these NC series, if I remember correctly, right? So these are GPU optimized virtual machines. In our case, I think we might be okay going. Let's see, compute optimized, um, the FSV2 series, okay, and 3.7 vector processing workloads, single double precision floating point. Okay, this is nice. I want to know cost though. On the pricing, Azure, Linux, VM. Let's see, Windows. Oh, I think I missed the pricing. Okay. Let's see, pricing. There we go. All right, so it was telling me FSV2, so 0.085 per hour. Okay, it's cool. Let me check out the price calculator. So we're only going to be needing this for some time, and we can probably shut it down in between whenever we're not really using it. Windows and Linux virtual machines. All right, Linux calculator. Let's see this. All right, I want to pay as I go. I want it to be Linux. I want it to be in the East US because that's where we are. Ubuntu standard. Yeah, I'm gonna go with standard. So low priority is typically okay to use. It's cheaper, right? What happens here is Azure leverages surplus capacity that they have, and they allocate that for workloads. But I think we can go with standard for now. And the one, what was it, FSV2, right? FS. Let's read that. FSV2. Okay. That's A, B, C, D, E, T, F. F. Okay. All right, so that's not on here. That's weird. Am I just not seeing it? FS. Oh, is this it? Like the V2s? Oh, A46. Um, yeah, I think that's what it was. So if F2S V2. So F2S V2. Okay. 16 gigs of storage. I think I need a little bit more storage than this. Managed disks. Yeah. I do need more. Standard disk. We're going to go up to 256. And the reason why is because this is 35 gigs compressed, right? So I don't know what this is going to look like uncompressed. So I think 256 is a fair bet. $61, but we're not gonna keep this on at all times. So I think this is okay. All right, let's try it. All right, so F2. What is F2S V2? Okay, so if we go back to Azure, where is it? Azure here. So I want to create first of all, I want to create a resource group. So we'll call this Stamina Stream Proj Stamina RG, and we want that to be in the East US. Let's see. Okay. RG. Okay. Yep. Create. So probably should have just created the VM. That would have created my resource group automatically. Okay, so let's go back to my resource groups. Let's see, one quick thing. Resource groups. All right, we gotta wait for this thing to refresh. There we go. Okay, stream stamina. So what I want to do here, I want to create a resource. As soon as this loads, okay. I want to add a VM. Yep, this is what I'm looking for. So we're creating a virtual machine now. Pay as you go, stream stamina. Yep, I like that. Virtual machine name, stamina VM. Yep, stamina VM. Okay. I want this to be in the East US. I want, yeah, I don't care about redundancy. It's just going to be us here. I want 1804 LTS. 20, is it available yet? No, it's not. But 2004 actually just came out recently. But I typically like to give it like 6 months. So usually within 6 months. So let's say 2010, right? 20.10, which is not LTS. Usually within 6 months, they've sort of worked out the kinks. Spot instance, no. I want. Okay, this is recommended, but that's not what I want. I want FS2 F2S. There we go. V2 compute optimized. That's the one that I want. Select. Okay. Is 4 gigs of memory enough? It's got 2 CPUs. Okay, fine. Okay. Gonna go with password. Close your eyes. Don't look at my password. Okay, cool. Just make sure I get that down, because otherwise I'm going to forget. Cool. All right. I do want SSH enabled. Okay. And then let's take a look at the disks. And we said that we wanted nope. I'm okay with standard. What is this? In terms of this recommended premium, is the IOPS. Let's go with standard. Default encryption rest platform management key. Okay. Create and attach a new disk. Okay. So stamina, disk 0. 1 terabyte? Nah. I'm good. I could go for. Yeah, I'm gonna go for 256. Actually, you know what? Just to be safe, let's go with 512. The fallen Christian. Yep. Okay. Cool. Okay. All right. Let's see now. You're gonna charge me 846, and then you're gonna charge me something else. But yep, I'm okay with it. All right. So while this is deploying and we are just just handle the whole data set using just 4 gigs of RAM. If it can handle the whole data set, so the answer, GBL, whether it can handle with only 4 gigs, it should. So the thing is that it's lazy, right? So we're gonna be loading data and it's gonna be pretty lazy. Um, okay, failed to submit deployment. Why? Sorry, give me 1 second. Um, so it's lazy, right? So it's gonna be loading from disk anyway. So more memory would be better. In this case, um, in this case, uh, it should be okay. Um, we're just trying this out for now. So what I'm doing now is I want to validate, number one, can I get the data set? Number two, can we process at least some of it? And then eventually what I want to do is I want to be able to then process the whole thing. So if we have to spin up another VM because this one can't process it as well, I'll go ahead and do that and sort of shut this down. So right now I just want to, do an experiment. And because we're able to sort of attach our disk to other VMs, right? Um, we're going to download the data. So the piece of downloading the data, which I think is going to, it's really the hardest part, right? We're going to have to kind of sit there, and I'm not going to sit here and wait for the data to download and finish downloading. But I am going to download the data to the disk that I've just attached, or what I tried to attach here. And then if I have to spin up another VM with more compute or whatever it may be, right, I can just attach the existing disk that contains all the data, and sort of be able to access the data that way with more compute and perhaps even GPU, right? So yeah, so that's the approach that I'm trying to take. But yes, it should be able to handle it with 4 gigs. Of course, it's going to be slow, uh, but it shouldn't break on us. That's the thing, right? Like, it shouldn't break on us. It should be able to handle it. Um, will it be as fast as we would want it to? Probably not. So let's see here. What went wrong? Failed some deployment, error submitting additional details from underlying API might be helpful. The request timed out. Okay. So am I to assume that? Okay. Okay, deploying. Okay, so it's trying again. All right, so while this is going, let's take a look at the data set and how we're going to get it. All right, that should be here. Let's just try this. Download all. What happens when I do that? Okay, so I have to sign in. Okay. I think I have this. What was my thing here? Might have to change it. It's been a while since I've logged into Kaggle. All right, success. Yeah. Okay. And I lost it. So let's see now. Microsoft malware. There we go. See, if we would have done this a year ago, we could have probably won $25,000. But since that's no longer an option, we just do this for fun. All right. So let's see. If I just do this, what happens? Yep, I accept. It's just gonna start downloading. Submissions, competition website. Yep, I accept all the rules. All right, but how do I get the data? Okay, so there's 3 files. Oh, this is the wrong data set. But actually, it's an interesting one nonetheless. No, quit. So what is this one trying to do? Okay. The goal of this competition is to predict a Windows machine probability of getting infected by various family based on different properties of that machine. This is a cool one. Maybe something that we might want to try on stream at a later point. Yeah, you should definitely try that, John. See if you can win a cow competition. I suspect, if I've seen the latest ones, most of them are COVID related. So, yeah, let's take a look here. What are the competitions? How much you can win? There you go. Jigsaw multilingual toxic comment classification. Forecasting of Walmart retail goods, 50,000 for that. Neuroimaging. Sentiment extraction, 15,000. Interesting. Yeah, so there's a few that are out there that are open now. So yeah, go for it. But this one, what is it trying to do? So it has all these things, and how big is the data set? Wow, 8 gigs. This might be a nice one to try at a later point. Okay, we'll save this one for Notepad. We'll save this one for later. Okay. All right. So, but what we're looking for is malware. I think it's this one here. Malware classification 5 years ago. If we look at data, yep, this is it. I understand and agree. And then what are we doing here? Download all. Oh, no, no, no. That's not what I want to do. Cancel. All right, so we know that this works. And if we take a look at... Can I copy link? Save as. What happens if I do that? No, that's the web page. Let's inspect it. I want to see what this does. No, no, no. Wrong one. Okay. This one. So it's a button, but I want to know where it goes to. All right, that's cool. But you have some sort of action. What's the action? Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. You can give it a shot. It would be interesting how well AutoML performs a common task in those competition. Would assume you're super fast, but it will at least push you in the right direction. Yeah, that's right. I don't think that they bar you, although I'm pretty sure if you looked at, I mean, I skipped through all the rules and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure that it might tell you that you can't use, let's see, public dissemination, open license winning solution will be posted, team mergers, team limits, competition framework. I'm pretty sure within this section it might tell you what you can and can't use. But yeah, I don't see why you couldn't, right? If it doesn't tell you, at the very least, yeah, AutoML could point you in the right direction, in terms of which algorithms might perform better. Um, what I'm trying to figure out now is how can I get. I remember that Kaggle used to have a CLI that you could install and download uh, the files that way. Um, but I don't see that here anymore. Maybe they moved away from that, and now you just download all. Let me see what happens if I do download all. Something must light up. No, cancel and cancel. See, it's always something. Let's see, button class. So let me highlight this here. What happens when I click it? Nothing. Oh, actually, I think I know how I might be able to tell. Cancel. Maybe if I inspect the network tab, I might be able to see where it's making the call to. Get data external requests. Okay. And where? No, get data view external requests. Download all. And where is it getting it from? Kaggle static storage APIs. Okay. So if I do this, I think I got it. All right, so if I type this in, what happens? I hope I don't get malware by going to some random link. There we go. All right, so we have our link. All right, so our link is this like super long thing. But yeah, you know what? I'll take it. Okay, so AutoML is basically just an automated system to find a good algorithm. Hyperparameter kind of appears to make sense given that you said tuning. Said it's still human work. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. I mean, AutoML, you could use it take it as face value, and just treat it as gospel and take what it gives you and just work with that, right? And that's totally fine in a lot of scenarios. But at the same time, if you want to become a little bit more sophisticated in your analysis and a little bit more get more granular, yeah, you might want to question it and you might want to interrogate it, and perhaps there may be reasons why you may not want to choose a specific algorithm versus another, right? So like, like I was mentioning last week, there's different ways that you might want to evaluate which algorithm to use, right? Like one of them, of course, is your evaluation metrics, right? But then the other two sort of things to consider, right, is like, okay, well, in order for me to build this model, like how much effort did I have to go to get this data, number one, and how long did it have to train for? But then the other thing you want to think about is how explainable is it, right? And if it's the best model in terms of evaluation metrics and all the things that you like, but then you can't explain why it's making those decisions, it might be time to sort of reevaluate and think, okay, well, is there like maybe the second best model? Is that one a little bit more explainable? So yeah. Um, let's see here. Okay, so now we got this. Let's go back to Azure. I would suspect that by now this thing has deployed. Succeeded. Awesome. So we should be able to now go to Stream Stamina RG, and we should be able to now go to the resource, which is the VM, and get the public IP. Don't try to attack my VM. All right, let's copy this, and let's go over to WSL. I could do this in PowerShell, but I'll do it in WSL. Let's see. Taking a while to boot. Okay, so now SSH Azure user Okay. Yes, I trust you. All right. Cool. Let's see now. How much space do we have here? 28 gigs. Where is the... let's see. Where is the disk that we allocated it to? Or that we allocated to it? Because I'm not seeing here. I'm seeing 2... So the size is 2 gigs. We got 512 from what I remember. 16, this is the onboard storage that comes with it. But where's the disk? Let's see. I probably should. Let's see. Azure disk attached to VM. Okay. All right, so let's check this out. Okay, so that's here. Disks. Okay, so I have my data disk. So I should do some encryption. Okay, compatibility. All right, so I have my disk here. So what's... Yep, so it's there. So how do I find upgrade and manage this? So start VMs, automation run hooks, or there's another. I want to be able to see where my disk is. C attach Azure VM, C attached disk. Okay. Attach my disk to Windows VM. Attach a data disk. Okay, but I want to... Alright, disk. After attaching this, you need to connect to the Linux VM to mount. Okay, so I want to mount it. How are we going to do that? Let's see. SSH, okay, whatever. DMESG. Once connected to VM, first find the disk. Alright, let's find it. Where's WSL? There we go. Alright. So initialize this version, loaded, attached. Okay. Yep. Here, SEC is the disk we want. How did you come? Oh, SDC. Okay, it's the one that you want. I don't want to partition. If you're using an existing disk contains data, skip to the mounted disk. Okay. Let's see. If you're using this that contains data, skip to the mounting the disk. If you're attaching a new disk, you need to partition the disk. Okay. So partition this. Okay, so sudo f disk dev sdc. Okay. Alright, change will remain in memory. Device contains valid. Okay, so use the end command to add a new partition. The sandwich also shows p to... Okay. So n all space for primary partition use. Print the partition table. Press P. Okay. So is it not? Can it not see it? SCC. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Let me just get out of this. Yeah, right, exactly. So SCC1 is already mounted. SDB is already mounted. So is it SDA? I don't see SDA here. Let's try SDA. SD, well, just make sure. Sudo fdisk dev SDA. All right, let's try this. All right, fdisk. Change will remain. Okay, so I want to do N. And I want to make it P, primary. Partition number. Print the partition passing P, and then use W to write table. Sure. Let's go with the first partition. Let's go with the default. First sector. Default is 2048. Sure. Let's go with the default value. Sectors. Sector size. Sure. Let's go with the default. Okay. Create a partition 1 type Linux. And of size 512 gigs. Command M for help. So it's a disk, and exit the output should look similar to the following. Okay. File system to the partition. Command M for help. Okay. So P. Let's see. All right. SDCA. That's nice. Okay, and exit. Okay. Cool. But altered. Okay. So now if I go to df.h. Where are you at? So still no. Sudo. See. Sure. I'm just trying to figure out where. This is still not there. All right, fine. ext4, let's see, ext4 dev sda1 because that was our first partition. Sure, allocating group tables. Okay, so following table. Okay, all right, so writing above file system, counting information. Cool. Let's see. So we're waiting for this to finish, and once that's done, then we should then just be able to do that. Very nice. Okay, so sudo make dir data drive, and I like this because that's going to tell us what it is. And then now we just do dev sda1 data drive. All right, df-h. Can we see it now? Can we see it? Data drive. There we go. Oh, okay. All right, we're in business. All right, so now before I move on, so the other thing that I want to do here is eventually I'm going to log off, and I'm sure it's going to take a while for the download to take place. So what I want to do is I want to sort of persist my session, and in order to do that, what I think I want to do is I want to use tmux, right? So let's see, is tmux installed here? Tmux new. Okay, so tmux is, what is it? Option no as, I don't know. I haven't used tmux in a while. Exit tmux, or tmux. Let me see, tmux cheat sheet. It's been a while. All right, tmux cheat sheet. How do I get out of tmux? Okay, tmux. All right, How do I exit though? Tmux. There's a rename detached. Control B, Control T. Tmux kill session. Let's Control B, Tmux. Rename kill all delete session. No. Move to the next session. Control previous Windows sessions. I want to attach. I want to detach kill session. Isn't there a better way to kill sessions? Copy mode, miscellaneous. Enter command board. Control B. Yeah, that's what I thought. Control B. B. And then kill the session. What is it? Kill session. Okay. Tmux ls. Okay, there we go. Okay. So what we want to do now is we want to do tmux new dash s. We want to call it, I don't know, data download. Data download. Okay. So we have our downloads. And then let's see, Control B, Control D. B, Control D. Oh, it's Control B, D. There we go. And then if I do tmux ls, there's our data download. Now tmux a, and what I want to attach to, right? A dash T data download. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to go to data drive. Okay. Just make sure 478. All right. So now we've got this. Can we just do curl? I don't trust it. Should I do wget? Let's see. Interesting. Okay. So it says my permission is denied. And I'm willing to bet it's because I need to be logged in to download it. If I take a look at the header, I don't want response headers. I want request headers. Yeah. Huh, smart. All right, so let's figure out how can we get Kaggle data. Get Kaggle data using curl, or I don't know, command line. Because I have the link, and I watch. So if I use this here, and we saw it last time, this works. There it is, right? So it kicks off the download process. But the reason it does that is because I'm logged in, number one, and number two, because I assume that there's some sort of session state, some sort of token that's embedded in my cookies that it's able to then use as part of the request when I tell it to download. Okay, download data via command line. I wonder how. No, I suspect that this is a pretty common occurrence. Yeah, this is Code Lab. I don't want to use Code Lab. It's taking a while. Okay, cats EC2. Ooh, when was this from? 6 years ago. Okay, I just want to say that I really don't appreciate not being able to get wget the files back to the case. Let's go. Try Clouderizer. Okay. Kaggle now has its official Kaggle API. Kaggle. Okay. Cool. So I think this might work. Official Kaggle API. Let's see here. Ensure you have Python pip install. Okay, pip install dash user Kaggle. So, okay. All right. So I knew that this was the way to go. The name API, the API is just a little bit misleading. So if I do pip install Kaggle, or maybe sudo pip install Kaggle, pip install. Oh, well, first I gotta make sure that I have Python 3 installed, which I think I do. 3 version. Okay, so perfect. I have 369. All right, so sudo pip 3 install, or let's go to pip install Kaggle, or pip 3. Let's do pip 3 Kaggle. Just in case, let me go back to my home directory. Sudo pip 3 install Kaggle. Okay, fine. Sudo pip install Kaggle. Okay, pip sudo apt install. In that case, sudo apt install python 3 -pip, right? Because we have Python. Unable to locate package. Sudo apt install python 3 -. Okay. All right. To locate package pip. All right. So it's not playing nice. Let's see first. Pip sudo apt install python pip 3. Sudo apt install python 3 -pip. Package lists. Okay, install. I wonder if I need to install. It should. Yeah, that's what I thought, because I do have Python 3, right? Python 3 -. Version, right? I do have 369, but then if I do pip 3, for whatever reason, it's not there. And then sudo, when I try to install it from the package manager, from apt-get, it's telling me that I can't find it, and I assume it's because it's not there. Okay, let's see. Ubuntu 18.04, what? Pip 3? Ubuntu Linux size. All right, what's the package that I need? Is it that easy? Is it because I would suspect that since it's a new VM, it would already be updated, but fine, let's do that. Sudo apt update. I would have expected that this was there already. Like, I wouldn't have to do this. Fine. Apt upgrade. Whoops. Sudo apt upgrade -y. Okay. And do it. Install all the stuff. I guess it doesn't out of the box. So, you did apt update, right? I didn't do apt update, which I just did. Which makes sense. But at the same time, it's a new VM, so I would expect everything to already be ready for me. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess this works, or hopefully this works. I see a few Python things being installed, so maybe this is gonna do the trick for us. Okay, 95%. Yeah, let me take a look at this while this is loading, right? So Kaggle, and then what you're able to do, Kaggle username account to create API token, or I can just have something where I already Kaggle competitions list. I want the data though. Yep, I've already accepted the rules. What if I want to download all? Competitions, datasets. There we go. Datasets. Download dataset files. Okay, is this done? Perfect. All right, so now if I do pip 3, still nothing, but at least maybe my packages were installed. You never know with a new VM, but yeah, they weren't super recent then when spinning them up. Yeah. Sudo apt install pip 3. Okay, sudo apt install pip 3. Oh, sorry, it's not pip 3, it's python 3-pip. Oh, that worked. Okay, so yeah, it was a matter of sudo apt update. All right, fair enough. Let's see. Yeah, so unfortunately, this hasn't been too eventful of a stream. We haven't done any deep learning just yet. We've spent it all the time setting up our environment and trying to get the data. But what I think is going to be our stopping point is once I'm able to get the data, I'm going to sort of save the session and we're going to sort of cut it off there. And then I'll be back next Monday. And then we'll see if the data is downloaded, even during the weekend. If there's some problems downloading the data, I'll try to make sure that I get those fixed. That way we can sort of get the data for the next stream and we're able to sort of hit the ground running once we get the data, right? But at least to me, this was a really good learning experience, right? So typically when I spin up VMs for doing tests like these, very close to the data scientist. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's very close to the real job. Although I think now companies sort of have people that manage this sort of stuff, right? Like I would hope that data scientists are allowed to focus a little bit more on their day-to-day work, right? Which is getting good insights from data and making sure that the data is clean and at presenting that data and insights. But yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of times you might just have to spin up new environments and stuff like that to allow you to do your work. Um, so yeah, I mean, for me it's a learning experience. So typically like when I do these tests, right, if I really just want to get something quick and dirty, I'll do something like DigitalOcean or I'll do DigitalOcean or Linode, right? And those work very well, even if I left it on for the whole month, right? Like I think it's what, $5 or something like that for a droplet, like the lowest compute one. But in this case, because we want to have a little bit more power, we want to be able to leverage sort of the scale of Azure, right? I decided to go with this. So it was a good learning experience. Like I said, for me, like typically I will do this with other providers, but going through it with Azure, for the most part, it was straightforward. The docs again, they helped me achieve my tasks. So yeah, let's see, pip 3. You work? Awesome. Okay, so now let's go back and see what do we need to do. So it's going to be pip 3 install Kaggle. Sudo pip 3 install Kaggle. Okay, is that it? Okay, all right, so in the meantime, let me kind of move this screen a little bit here because I will enter my credentials. Kaggle. So Kaggle JSON home.azureuser.kaggle. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to create touch Kaggle. Kaggle.json. BI Kaggle.json. And what I want to put into Kaggle.json file. Just exports the token environment in addition to export configuration. So what is it looking for though? What's my Kaggle.json supposed to look like? Let's give me an example here. I mean, I suspect it's going to be my username and password, but tests, authenticate. .kaggle doesn't exist. Okay. API. Okay, JSON. Okay, location. Okay, so Kaggle. Sign up, then go to account tab or user profile, Kazner, and select create API token. This will trigger Kaggle JSON file. Oh, okay. All right. Cool. So if I go to my account on Kaggle, I'm gonna swipe this one to the right, just in case that there's any tokens that I need to create. So excuse me for that. Let's see, account, my account. Edit profile. Nope. Create API token. Okay. Cool. Show in folder. And I was hoping that it wouldn't open up there, but it did. And now I'm gonna be very. Don't open there. No. Ow. Ha, just in time. I saved that. Okay, so I'm supposed to be getting my credentials here. Let's see here. All right, cool. So there's my Kaggle.json. And now what I need to do is I just need to make sure that this is in here, right? So, okay, so okay. Cool. And then what I want to do is, what I need to do here. So now that I have this, I just need to for security, ensure that other string computers do not have read access on Unix-based systems. You can do, okay, so chmod. All right, so now I think I can show you. So chmod 600 .kaggle kaggle.json. Okay, now if I were to go to Kaggle, all right, I get access to everything. Awesome. So now let's go to the data directory. Let's see how to download the data. Submit datasets list. Okay, so let's set that. Kaggle datasets sets list. Okay. So what are we trying to do here? Let's see here. Datasets list. That's not what I'm looking for. I want to narrow it down. List, license, tags. What does search do? Okay, terms to search for. Okay, so what do we want to search for here? Let me get rid of all these tabs. Here, cookies. Kaggle dataset, CLI. Okay. We can still keep our tmux cheat sheet. Okay. Get rid of this. Where is our Kaggle? No, this is the API. All right, so it's the competition malware classification. All right, so what we want to do now is we want to Kaggle list and search for Microsoft malware classification. Malware. Oh crap, that's right, I forgot. Yeah, so that's one of the things with tmux that like scrolling isn't great. So sorry. Less. Okay, there we go. So datasets benign. Microsoft malware threat details. No. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, maybe I have to look for it by competition, maybe? Is there a way that I can just provide the URL? List datasets, download version, and initialize metadata. Download metadata about a dataset. No. Competitions. List. All right, let's try that. List is competitions. List. What is it? As malware. Less. Okay. Oh, there we go. Microsoft malware. So it's a malware classification. Okay. Cool. So, oh, whoops. So this is the one that we want, right? So we want this one. Competitions, files. Okay. So Q. Files -H. Okay, so what I'm okay. Show this my competition URL. Competition list. Files. Okay. All right, so that's that. So what happens after? So now if I want to download a file, download, okay, there we go. All right, so we're getting closer. We're getting closer. So it's files, competitions list, files, file, but I want to do competitions. Download. And we want to download the train. Let's try this one first, because this one's not going to take too long. So train labels.csv, and then data dir. Is that what I called it? I think I called it data drive. df-h data drive. Okay. So Kaggle download. Download malware classification -f. What was it called again? Malware classification. Okay, so let's download file. It's going to be my train labels .csv, and the path I wanted to download it to is data drive, right? Data drive. All right, let's try it. What happened? Permission denied. Oh, sudo. All right, that seemed to work. So now if we go to data drive, let's train. Oh, data drive, train labels. All right, I like it. We're in business. Yeah, I'll try that. I'll try to do sudo next time. All right, I like it. I like it. Okay, so now that we got that one, now it's for the big one here for our train tests. Sorry, our train set, which is a whopping 18 gigs. And what do I want to? Is it just called train.7z p data drive? Right. What happens here? Let's do it. Wow, this is actually going way faster than I thought. Oh, save me hours of my life. Yeah. The bang bang is for it remembers the last command, right? Or like it helps with the history or something like that. This is going way faster than I thought. Thank you, Azure. All right, nope, I jinxed it. The one thing that I'm seeing, the one thing that I'm seeing though is, yeah, but in this case we had to change it, right? Unfortunately, like, so I wonder if the history will also like like literally run the last command, or if it will just sort of, uh, yeah, I'm not sure how that would work because in this case, right, we had to change it because before our file was train labels, and now it's train.7z. So I don't know how that might work if like if you do bang bang, if it will also like if it will trigger this command or if it will let me input new commands. But yeah, no, thanks for that suggestion though. I had forgotten about that. Oh, okay, awesome, even better. So yeah, I'll try that. So this is actually not taking as long as I thought it was. So let's, while this is downloading, let's try something else. Let's look into something else, which is I'm noticing, and you can kind of see it here, right? So the files, they are 7z, right? 7z. Now, my guess is that this is for 7-zip, and from what I understand, yeah, absolutely, yay for Azure. What I don't know is how can I, let's see, um, unzip or decompress 7-zip files Linux, right? Because if it was like a tar.gz, like if it was a gzip file, that would be easy. But 7-zip, I don't know, to be honest, how to do that with Unix. I guess we'll find out. And while this is happening, I actually don't. Let's see. How to compress 7-zip? Can you explain? Okay. Use 7za command. Oh, this was 2010 though. Is this still like? Yeah, it's a little um, outdated. Let's see, linux.com. What do you got to say, Linux? Are you also going to tell me to use the 7p zip? Wow, it is just like, it is blazing through this thing. Okay, handling, when is this from? 2007, even older. All right, maybe not this one. Um, let's see, when's this one from? 7 years ago. Uh, should I gamble it and like and just uncompressing 7za? Let's just try this one. I mean, it's the earliest. I don't know. Let me check. Let me bing with Google here. 7-zip Azure. Oh, sorry, not Azure. Ubuntu. How to? Okay. 2019. Awesome. It's a little bit more up to date. Use 7-zip. Okay. On RAR. Couldn't open this file type. Yes. Oh, P7-zip. Oh wait. First thing you need to install P7-zip package. You will find 3 7-zip in Ubuntu: P7-zip, P7 full, P7-zip RAR. Is a lighter version, provides support for MC, while the full version provides support more easily for audio files. Okay. Should be sufficient in most cases. Okay, so P7-zip full. Okay. All right, easy enough. So In the meantime, let's check back on this. All right, we're at 14 gigs. How long has this taken? It's taken like 5 minutes. I wish my computer was this fast. Would have taken me forever. Now the awesome thing, right? As we were saying before earlier in the stream, is now that we're able to get these files here. One of the cool things that we can do is, let's say that, and I assume that this may be the case, that it may be really slow with only 4 gigs of RAM on the current VM that we have. Because I'm downloading this to the data drive, I can just swap it out, and I can be like, you know what, let's scrap this VM, and let's spin up another one that has more compute, and then just leverage what we've already downloaded and uncompressed here in this data drive. Okay, so let it finish. Man, I am so impressed by how fast. Is this a running time? How long it's taken? Yeah, 6 minutes. Amazing. So now if we go to cd data drive. Oh, come on. There we go. There's our 7C. So, okay, so now the one thing that we need to do now is we need to say sudo apt. We don't need to do update again because let's do both rar just in case, right, for the fun of it. Okay. Can I just control V? No? Okay. Sudo apt install p7 zip dash full and p7 zip dash rar. Sudo apt install p7 zip full, p7 zip rar. Yep, looks good to me. All right, easy enough. So now what we want to do is we want to tell it 7z e train. You know what? Let me make a directory. Make their train. Data sudo make. All right, let's try this. Just because. Train data command not found. Interesting. All right, fine. Sudo make their train data. Okay. Let me cp train 7. Is it just one bang? Okay, let's see. Sudo. What is it? CP train 7. Train data. Oh crap! I should have moved it. This is gonna take a while. Yeah, this one's gonna take a while. And the reason I'm doing this is I don't want it to like mess up my current structure, right? Like for example, if I need to delete it or whatever, like it won't be a problem. But this is, I bet you this is actually gonna take longer than the actual downloading of the file. Let's see, data drive. Is there a CP? Let's see. CP dash verbose. progress. Wonder if there's a way to keep progress. How to show transfer progress, speed and copy. Files with CP. Well, PV. CP has this functionality. You can use PV to do this. Hasn't got this one, but you can use PV. Something that comes out of the box. All right. I actually want to create a new window. Tmux cheat sheet. Create a new window. There we go. Be C. C sudo apt install PV. All right. So what I'm doing here is I am doing this PV. Oh, nice. Okay, hold on. And control B 0. Okay. Let's see. Train data. Remove train data. Train. Okay. All right, so train data. Okay, awesome. All right, so now we can do 7ZE train 7Z. Oh. Sudo 7ZE train. All right. So this might take a while, but I am seeing that there's all these like .asm files here, and they have this here. And if I recall, let's go to Kaggle. Where's Kaggle? That's not Kaggle. I could have sworn that was here. Oh, there it is. Kaggle. So Kaggle. Let's take the train labels. This one shouldn't take too long. Or let's inspect a little bit, some of it, right? So here we can see that there's these, I assume that the file names are the hashes, right? And then kind of what we're seeing here, notice here, that's that here. So what we're going to have to do eventually is we're going to have to combine these file names and try to create directories, because it seems like judging from this, there's no directories, right? And if we recall, the way that we want to load the data in for image classification, I mean, it's not the only way, but a way to do it is for us to put in subdirectories. In this case, because we have the CSV, I guess we could just point to it and create a data point. We'll see how we go about this, but let's see. Yeah, we'll see how we go about this. We might have to change the code that we have there. So one of the other cool things is that now that we have a VM, what we can do is we can essentially use the remote SSH extension, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with, right? But it's really cool. So we're able to SSH into this VM, right? And what we can do is this, where is it? Remote Explorer? No. Let's see. Remote SSH extension. So remote SSH. Is this it? Yeah. Yeah. So what we can do here is It's installed. Okay, so what we can do is we can use this remote SSH extension, and basically what we're able to do there, right, is we're able to see the files, and we're able to see the code. In this case, we're going to have the code that we built here, right, as part of this Stamina projects, stream projects, specifically Stamina directory, right? So we have our F# code. So this is for you, G. Bierla. Uh, we're doing this in F#. So um, this is the code that we have so far, and we're gonna have to maybe tweak it so that when we're going through these files, we're able to get the file name, the path, as well as the category that it belongs to, right? And if you remember, this is based on 9 different categories. Let's see. All right, we're at 5%. So this is exactly, yeah, the F# is where it's at. So let's see. So we have 7 minutes. There's not much that's going to be happening in the meantime. We were able to download the file, which is great. What I'm going to do over the weekend is I'm going to try to download the test file, right? Because we would like to have some sort of a testing set. Let this thing sort of go and finish off. And yeah, I think this is a pretty good place to end the stream for now. So in the meantime, let's see. Control B1, Tmux cheat sheet. How do I get rid of a window? Close current window. Let's see. Control B. Kill window. Yes. This one's still going. Control B. And I think it's D. Detach. Yep. And then if we Tmux ls, just to make sure. Yep, this is still going. Control B D. All right, so we'll leave Tmux and we'll let this thing do its own thing. Let's see. Tried using .NET Preview 2 days ago from FSX. Works quite well if you want to give it a go. Yeah, oh, speaking of which, we're eventually going to have to install the SDK onto here. So yeah, we have to install SDK. Yeah, the .NET 5 wave across the board, it's going to be really awesome for .NET, right? As it relates to F#, one of the really nice things, the thing that I'm really excited about is the scripting capabilities, right? So before you could still do scripting, you know, for the longest time you had scripting with F#. One of the really cool things now, though, is going to be the $R, right, or how you reference packages, right? So before, what you had to do is you had to essentially tell it, hey, look into this file and look into this directory, right? Kind of like add it to the list of directories where you want to look for DLLs, and then you had to directly reference the DLLs that you needed to use for your scripting, right? And if you wanted to just get in and write stuff, right, you just want to prototype, you wanted to do something, right, that setup was a little bit cumbersome. You could have automated that stuff, right? But again, the experience wasn't the best. All right, and you know, maybe there was a better way, just the way that I was doing it, maybe it wasn't the right way, but long story short, the $R, awesome, love it. And you can use it in FSX, right, your script files, and you can use it inside of Jupyter Notebooks, more importantly. All right, so yeah, I'm really excited for what's coming down the pipeline with .NET 5, and yeah, you know, the reason I sort of do this stream and stuff like that is I do believe, you know, maybe not yet, but I do believe that .NET is a really good place for data analytics and doing these workflows, right? And like I said, I think the pieces are starting to come into place, and it's just a matter of time. You know, and part of that goes with the community. Part of that goes with you know, individuals building cool things and being vocal about, which the F# community I think is very vocal in term, and if stuff doesn't get done, right, like they don't wait for stuff to get done, they'll go out and build it themselves, so which is really great. So yeah, I think that, like I said, this is a pretty decent, let's see, I got really good .NET Core. You could auto-generate a reference file with Packet or the INA tooling. Super huge. $R makes things easy again. Yeah, $R, I agree. It makes things so much easier. We're at 10% now, so yeah, just want to make sure that this thing is not going to break on us. Cool. So yeah, thank you guys for joining. I really do appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully, you learned a thing or two. I know I learned a thing or two of setting up VMs in Azure, and how you can use 7Z, right, on Linux to unzip 7-zip files. I will be back on Monday, same time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and typically what I do there. So one of the things that I like to that I've been doing, right, we've been doing as part of the stream projects is we've been sort of going and trying to explore the libraries and stuff like that are part of these reactor workshops, and these are great. We've done the day one, and the day one is really just to get familiar with NumPy and pandas and stuff like that. We're doing the equivalent in F sharp, right, where we're using num sharp, and for pandas we would use the data frame API, right, and it just walks you through cleaning and manipulating data. I think I want to skip over the pandas part, uh, simply because how much money you spend on the machine while working with the Azure VM. Yeah, I can share that after we're done here, and see how much it costs over the month. Yeah, we could use Dito. Dito is very powerful, but if I'm being honest, it's taking me some time to wrap my mind around it. Like, as opposed to sort of like data frames and pandas, or the data frame API. Uh, those I feel are a little bit more intuitive. It is actually. Dito is still being maintained. Let's see. Dito. Actually, fslab.org. So it's taking me some time to sort of wrap my mind around Dito. And, maybe it's me, right? Like, maybe it's me who. Uh, let's see. So if we go to NuGet and we see when the last publish took place, there you go. See, 3 months ago. So it is. It's still actively maintained. But yeah, I mean, it's very powerful. Like what you're able to do, it's great. But for me, like it's taken me some time to sort of wrap my head around what you can do. Um, so that, but we could explore it on stream, right? Like I think these streams are a learning opportunity both for, um, you guys as well as for me, as we saw here. Um, but yeah, so we could explore this as well on stream. Um, but yeah, let's see. Okay, so what I was saying was that we were doing pandas and we were doing num sharp, and we were looking at the data frame API or Tito, right? And I'm thinking I want to kind of skip over that a little bit. I don't want to say it's I don't want to say it's boring, but it kind of is. Um, and the reason for that is not like for the sake of learning, it's not bad, right? Like learning. Okay, here's what you can do with the library, right? You can aggregate columns, and you can perform these types of transformations, and that's fine knowing what the libraries can do. But personally, I find learning to be much more valuable when there's a challenge, right? So if you're challenged, like for example, hey, here's this data set. In this case, it's using the iris data set, right? um, how would you deal with missing data for this data set, right? And I think that when you have like an actual challenge or a real problem, that's kind of what for because you can sort of you can put it into the context of a real world problem as opposed to just in a vacuum, right? Here's how you fill in missing values. I think when you put it into the context of a real problem, that's sort of when the learning becomes fun, when the learning sort of sticks a little bit more. And yeah, I find that type of learning a little bit more valuable. So I think I'm gonna skip over maybe to this one here, right? To the data cleaning and manipulation. Um, and if not, maybe I'll just move on to the day two, which the day two I think has a little bit more real world like exercises. So we'll see what we do. But yeah, I mean the initial ones, they're valuable, right? Because they give you the foundations of, and they give you an introduction to what these libraries are. That being said, though, I think it's one of those things where it's like you can read a book, right? And in this case, we're not just reading; we're actually doing. But it's not until you actually put stuff into practice that you actually grow and you actually learn. So yeah, so again, tune in. I'll be back on Monday, and we'll be talking a little bit more about Jupyter Notebooks, F Sharp, Dito maybe, the data frame API, and we're going to be trying to add it or put into the context of this of an actual real life problem. And we're also going to try to, at the same time, on Wednesday, right? Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be back to work on stamina and see where we are, and try to actually get the code working try to get the code to a place where we can actually start building these image classification and deep learning models that will allow us to classify malware. So yeah, thank you guys for joining, and until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye.